We're out here today because I have a question about these Beretta M1934 pistols and what was done to them when they threaded these barrels and screwed with them. So what we have the pistol I got from PSA, and it looks fairly good and everything. I have two barrels that were pulled off I got from Atlantic Firearms. Both of these, one has a clean bore, one has a rusted bore, and these, I can safely say, they look screwed up, they look damaged. I also have a Beretta 84BB, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull the barrel out of this gun, because I know it's good, I know it works, and I fired it. And we are going to measure the bore and check it out. And I'm going to show you how to do it with gauge pins. What are gauge pins? There's a set of them right over here. Okay? What they are is a machinist or machine shop uses them. They're precision ground steel pins. And you can use these to measure stuff, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let me get the barrel out of this one and we'll take a measurement. Okay, so we have the barrel out of the 84BB. And I got a gauge pin here, 350 thousandths. Now you can look up the specs for 380, but the pin goes in, goes past the chamber, and when you kind of slide it in there, it's a tight fit. It goes about halfway down the barrel, okay? So obviously the barrel has a slight taper to it. So what does that mean? If this slides in there, then that barrel exactly is 351 thousandths. See, if the pin can't go in, that's probably the size. So this is like 351. It gets a little tight about that far. If you take a 349, it should just slide right through. It's a thousandths undersize. It goes right through like nothing. So now we're going to take the barrel out of my other pistol here, out of my M34. Now these barrels do have a serial number on them, right in this area here, and it does match this gun. Now my barrel looks fairly good. You could see, now the weird thing about it, this has an unusual crown as compared to the others, and it has some of the solder staining the crown, which means that when they pulled off whatever was on here, they did not re-crown this, okay? Much like this barrel here, which is a pull-off that I bought, and if you look at it closely, the end of it's bashed, like the barrel itself is bashed, and the crown is kind of screwed up, and there's corrosion, and where they put the solder has gotten in to the barrel, corroded it. This one here is a lot worse. You can see it. The solder is a high temperature solder, and the flux is an acid-based liquid. You put the flux on to clean it. Once it heats up, you hit the solder and it sweats it on there. So that's what that corrosion is. Now this barrel has a serial number on it. The bore is rusted. And this one's not in terrible condition. Okay, the bore's rusted, and some people have got guns like that with the rusted bore that still have the originals. This other one does not have a serial number. does not have the markings down here on the opposite side like the others do. This one is worn. The finish is worn. It's worn and battered here in the back. And people have described receiving guns with the original barrels where they were in this condition. This is pretty tore up in here. So let's start with my barrel. And let's see if the pins will go through like they go through. So we'll go with the 50. So we take that pin, and it's a little tight in the chamber. It won't go in. Or this one went halfway down the other barrel. So the 350 won't go. Now, the 339 is tight. It's tight in the chamber, which the chamber is bigger. So maybe these parts have a little bit different tolerances. Now I haven't cleaned these. So we're going to look at them like if you got the gun and just went and shot it. And now, then we'll clean them and see if any of this changes. Alright, so as I said, unlike the other barrel, the 348 will go in to the chamber, and it stops, I don't know if you can see, about right there in the barrel. Okay, so a little bit tight. So I said, okay, let's go with 347, and again, it stops before it gets out the barrel. It does not freely come out. So I kept going with the pins in this barrel. 339. Okay. So that's like 339, and we had 349. That's 10 thousandths difference. It just barely makes it out of the barrel, but 338 will slide through. So there's a 10 thousandths something in this barrel. It constricts it. So we're going to set this one aside. Now we'll take this one here. The bore, the outside's rough and it's beat up, but the bore is fairly good. So let's see how this does. I think all of these are a little tighter than 84. Yeah, it won't get the 350 in the chamber. 349 goes in tight. And I think this is 348. 348 goes and stops short there where most of that crap is. And 347, almost 347 won't go. It barely makes it. 346. I think this one 345 goes through. Yep. 345. So about 4 thousandths constriction in there. And this one, like I said, this one's clean. It's got a clean bore. So whatever they did, there's some sort of obstruction or something in the barrel. Either it's part of the solder, the corrosion, or whatever. Then we'll take this other one. This is the rusted one. And I think it too is tight. Yeah, these are all kind of tight. The 350 don't go in the chamber, actually. Or maybe it goes in the chamber, it don't engage. Alright, this one, 349 kind of goes in, but it could be constricted by the fouling and the rust. so I ain't gonna push it. So we'll go with a 348. Yeah, 348 goes through. So looking at this bore, okay, this one has the least amount of obstruction in it as compared to the others. So now I'm going to go and run a brush through these and see if anything has changed or is different, and try to clean them out, try to clean some of the crud out and get a look at them. And then I'll make a decision whether I can try to salvage these, if they're interchangeable, by machining the threads off, getting past all this, and then recrowning the barrels. But then we have to look into interchangeability. So what we've done is just with hops number 9 and a slightly oversized bronze brush, scrubbed out the bore. And I know it's a little dark in the garage, but these bores, mine looks mint. Nothing much changed. I think the crown is a little screwed up, but let's see if we can get the pins in there and if it's still got a 10,000th constriction. Okay, I'll just go with the, yeah, see, it's still, something's still constricting it down there. And that is with the 348. Let me see the one that barely made through, 339. Let me see if that will go through all the way now. No. Again, same result. So something, I have to get a bore scope down there. Something is constricting my bore. Still, 10,000ths. Okay, it's not in bad shape, but it goes back. This is the thing about it. This constriction goes back just about to where the threads are. And so it could be something for when they threaded this, they may have torqued or crushed the barrel or something. I don't know. So now I'm leery of going out and shooting this. Now we'll look at the one that was worn. Looks pretty good. You know, it's got wear in that, and that here, I think we can get a look down into that. All the bores on these are pretty good, even the one that was supposedly rusted. You know, that's in good shape. Alright, and the stuff on the end, some of that corrosion and crud kind of scraped off. This one may have damage to the end of the barrel. The crown looks uneven, the surface is uneven, and the crown may be. So let's see how this was 49. I don't quite remember the numbers. Yeah, I don't like that. It's still tight. And this one goes up to there. I believe that is 48. Let's see if 47 will go through. Nope, still a little, just a hair, just barely constriction in there. Let's see, 46 will go on through. Yep. So a little bit of constriction in there. And again, it could be these barrels were damaged with this threading and soldering. This one looks bashed. You know, mine has a very strange, deep chamfer on the end of it. Okay. Alright, this was the one. This one here is the one that's serialized. And it had a bunch of rust and grime in it. but it come out looking fairly good. And most of the nonsense on the end is gone. I was looking at this in the bright sunlight, and the crown on this looks fairly decent. Like it's not damaged. I think it's been roughed up. It's damaged a little. So let's go. Okay, all of these are a little tight with 49. We'll see if we can get 48 to drift through. Yeah. So I'm going to say this one here appears to be the one without much constriction. They all get a little tight towards the muzzle. So that just could be something in the manufacturing. Alright, so this serial numbered one out of the pull-offs looks the best. This one has constriction. Mine has constriction in it. Let me see if I can get this other barrel to fit in here. Now a lot of people get the new barrels and they fit a little odd. Now this one, I don't know, it looks like this is protruding a little bit more, but let me pull her back. See, what's tricky about these, I've seen where they had to beat some of these out. This comes out with very little pressure. Okay. Now the barrel that came with it and is serialed to the gun. And like I said, something like this, these were hand fitted. This is looser. Let's see, we'll get this back in there. Yeah, that's protruding about the same. Let's see how that slap did with securing the barrel. Yeah, mine, and this is serial to the gun. This thing just drifts in and out of there. Now this one here, which I liked at the bore, this one, it's got a little friction to it. It's the same. So I'm going to say this barrel probably will be able to be fired in this pistol. Okay. And I like the fact that this has a little bit of a tension to it. Or mine just, the one that came with it and serial number just drifts right out. Now this here, this one's beat up. I think no matter what, I'm gonna have to cut that off, shorten this. But it's a shame because all of these, the borers, are very good on all of these barrels. Even the one that looked rusted, it was just like, I don't know, fouling or something in there. Now this really doesn't want to fit in there. But it looks like it went home all the same. Let me see how this... Yeah, this is tight. This has some resistance. This is tight. Didn't need to beat it out of there. Maybe I should have, but... So, as for interchangeability, this one's got some rough spots on it too. I may hit that with a stone or file and see. So now I'm wondering, should I fire this with the, I'm going to look at this with a bore scope and see if I can see anything. But this has just about where them threads start, them pins, the easygoing pin goes to about that point. So I don't know if they crushed something or torquing with the threading did something, not quite sure. This one is not bad. I didn't like the acid and corrosion on there. The crown isn't too terrible. If this shoots well in there and functions good, stays put, all I may have to do is touch the crown up, because when you look at it in the light, this isn't bashed, dinged. There's a stain from that corrosion, but it really didn't damage the little chamfer, the crown. Unfortunately, this barrel is beat up. You know, these threads are dinged, and there's where it's been bashed, you know, or banged or something. You know, it's flattened. So this one's in pretty rough shape. You can see it there. This one's in rough shape. This one I may experiment with. I may take it out and try to shoot it, and then cut this one back a ways and then re-crown it. But I got to see if I can get it to fit in the gun a little better. I'm going to go and hit this and try to clean up all these rough spots on there and see if that'll make a difference. Alright, so I tried to get these rough edges and burrs and everything out. And let me see how this fits in there now. A little bit better, goes in a little easier. Seems to look okay. Now let's see, does it push? Still tight. Still a bit on the tight side of town. Alright, so probably that's the way that's going to be. A little tap, block of wood there. So, I don't know, this thing was rough all over though. And I think this is a replacement barrel. It's got wear there where it was dragging. It was all, had burrs and rough spots. But still, the bores on all of these barrels are fairly good. The only scary thing is I don't know what's causing that restriction in my rifle or my pistol barrel. I guess, say, just go out and try to shoot them, be bold. Hopefully there will not be any kind of catastrophic failure, but I may just, as a point, take this particular gun out because it's got matching numbers, it looks good. Granted, yeah, I mean, that's looser than hell. Granted, it should be fine to shoot, but I don't like the fact that it gets tight towards the end of the bore. They all do, but 10 thousandths is a little too much. So I may go out and fire like 5 rounds through each one of these barrels off a table and rest and just see what I end up with, and if they work, and then we'll take it from there. Maybe some of these I'll have spare barrels. I'll machine them down, recrown them, and see if I can improve on them. It's a shame because these barrels are nice. You know, they're in good shape. It's a shame they did that to these pistols and ruined them like that. It really is. These are nice guns. But what are you going to do? That's the world of surplus. Alright guys, wait for the range footage. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.